Yeah.
All right, I'm.
No pressure,
You're
no
good to,
pressure.
You're good to go.
All right, very cool. All right, welcome to Clearcut. And by the way, let me just say with like a billion people in the VC.
Can you stream
Just
it?
try to keep your questions brief, or I would prefer not to because it kills my PC. Yeah, someone else. Thank you.
Yeah, someone else. I have to be on my phone.
Yeah, that's all good. I got you. But yeah, with like 13 people in the VC, type your questions. Like, yeah, just type your questions in the chat, and I'll try to answer them as I get to them. But yeah, let's try to keep talking to a minimum, so we're not here forever. Cool. Let's go over rollouts really fast. So rollouts are pretty simple on this map. I say simple, but like your demo can basically roll out anywhere they want. You can go left, right, or main. I think left and right are typically better though because you get these ramp slides and then there's like packs. So if you go right, you're just gonna sticky on this, on this left or right wall, whatever's more comfortable for you. Jump out and ramp slide up here, grab this pack, and then you're gonna roll valley. And then if you go the other way, obviously a ramp slide over here, take an extra jump, and grab this pack. Both are equally good. It doesn't really matter as far as I'm aware. The only reason I would say to avoid rolling out center is because usually that means you're going to go main, and that you're just going to be less healthy, and it's also a little slower. And the way that I'm going to tell you guys to roll out, your soldiers are going to be taking a lot of the beam, so there's really not a lot of time for you after you leave spawn. But yeah, experiment with what you want to do. I don't think it really matters, like I said. Your soldiers are both going to go center. This is how I roll out, and I think it makes the most sense. Neither soldier does your pocket rollout where you crouch and like jump backward. You don't do that. You just roll through this door, jump out, get to like here, and then you're just buffing both soldiers. And then at this point, you can kind of decide what you want to do, how you want to split it up. Typically, we had one soldier play like kind of by this shed, ready to jump on this height, or jumping on the height. That was like one of two things they could do. And then we had our other soldier, typically the roamer, play on this little slant. This is good because it allows you to expand point, see everything, and you can kind of like decide what you want to do later in the mid. You don't have to commit to anything. Because like the bad thing about playing over here right away is you are committed to holding left side, and you can't really help anybody unless if you like spend rockets and jump toward them. This just centralizes you more and allows you to see more. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then your scouts and medic, I mean, you have the easiest rollout of your life. It's just like any other rollout. Just take the shortest path from point A to B. That's going to be through center. You just run through, cut this corner. And then typically pocket scout and medic will go out of main. And then your flank scout will end up on... I like my flank scout up here to start. Again, it gives you really good vision. And then especially if their team is doing things where like they'll send their roamer behind right away, which is something you can try to do, or sending a soldier back, the scout can just catch them and just absolutely obliterate them. So it like punishes early aggression really hard. And it's not like you're baiting your team too hard because you're only a second away from being able to help, right? So I think it's really strong. If you're not going to do this, though, what I would recommend then is you just kind of play a little bit with your combo. You don't want to, like, wherever your demo and pocket scout are standing, typically you want to be away. Like, you don't want to eat the same damage as your team, right? So try to spread yourselves out so you're not going to get rolled by a pipe. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, let's talk about midfights, how this map goes. This map is it's kind of like Product in that it's very DM oriented. Like, because like Product is DM oriented, Bagel is less DM oriented and more like team coordination. Like you have to like coordinate with your soldiers to like push houses and like, stuff like that. It's a lot less DM on your combos end. But this map 100% is like, I mean, this is probably... No, I think Product is better for demo, but this is still really good for demo. Like,
you could shoot everything.
Yeah, you shoot the height, you can shoot your own height, you control pretty much all of point pretty safely. Like this entire point is just great for demo, man. That being said, your demo is like, usually you would think of the demo as being a little less important than your medic. Like, your medic is just better, like more important to keep alive. But in this map, I'd say they're equal. Like your demo is just so important for controlling this space and stopping them from walking across point, because this is a pretty wide point. Your soldiers are going to have a harder time dealing with that. Plus, your soldiers going to have a pretty hard time. Like, there's no real good spam angles for them. Like, you might say, well, what about the house? But the thing is like, standing on height, you're just going to be a pipe magnet. So this is not sustainable. All right. So your demo is very important. You're just stop. All you want to focus on mid is pretty much two things: shoot height. Your height is okay. My bad. The biggest priority is making sure no one's on your height, and that doesn't necessarily have to follow the demo, but it can. Second biggest priority is stopping them from walking across point. Right, you just control that space, and then when you have free time and you're able to choose what you want to fight because they're not doing anything, you can think about shooting their height. Those are the general things you're going to be looking at. Your pocket scout is going to be mostly bouncing between playing on top of this crate and jumping up on this roof, or baiting behind this fence. Pretty strong. You don't need winger to do any of this. You can just move around pretty fluidly. But the power of your scout, managing this, is your pocket soldier can't get rolled nearly as easily. Soldiers trying to bomb up here just get eviscerated, and it allows your demo to focus on the point, so they don't have to look up on this roof. If your scout can't fight this, your demo has to, because usually what it means is this height starting to get taken is your soldiers rolled and can't do it. And then flank scout, like I said, typically I like standing up on this for the first 3 to 4, not even 4 seconds, 3 or less seconds, standing up here and just punish early aggression and just be able to see bombs and shit. And then eventually I will go down and try to help my demo manage point. Scout is still a very good class for punishing people. If they walk forward into you, you deal more damage to them. It's kind of every weapon in the game, but with Scout, people running toward you just kind of get mowed down faster. Especially if you focus with your demo. If your demo pipes somebody and you just scattergun them twice, it's yeah, that's the dream, right? You can also help your roamer take this roof. You can double jump on their roof, but I would do it only with a soldier. You rarely want to do it alone. But that is something you might also want to do, is just be flexible enough to help get up here. I think you can winger jump from here. Yeah. So cool. And then your soldiers, pocket soldier is kind of fucked like it is on Bagel, where it's your mid is just kind of it's gonna kind of depend on what they do. You can try to default onto this roof. Be careful about standing near this wall. It's really easy for other soldiers to just shoot this wall and deal incidental splash to you. You really want to try to stay away from it the best you can. This is really good high ground to shoot down from, but you're going to attract a lot of attention from the demo man, and you have to expect that eventually someone's going to come up here to stop you. So you have to play really defensive up here, or you have to use this to go behind, or honestly, what I will do sometimes is I'll just play on this concrete, or even just down here and just wait. Once they jump height, then I'll counter jump. Something like that. And then as roamer, when I played on this map, I found this, like I said earlier, this is just really good spam. You get good vision. If your pocket's getting jumped right away, you can just jump counter jump for them, kind of help them out. Otherwise, if things are kind of stalemating a little and neither team's really winning, you can start to do what I like to call air raids, where you jump off the tower and just start shooting spam rockets, land back on your side. Shit like that's really strong. Also on their roof, right? Because they don't know what you're gonna do. They don't know necessarily that you're not committing. They just see a high bomb and they you can decide what to do. If they're not respecting it, you can land on their medic. Most of the time, they're gonna respect it, and you should probably just try to land back on your side.
What's a good indication whether they're respecting it or not? Whether they're shooting you while you're doing it?
They're looking at you. Yeah, if they're looking at you and shooting you, that means they're paying attention to you. If they're not looking at you, or if it's only a soldier, because a soldier can't really stop you unless if he's just fucking Jay or whatever and just hits every air shot. A soldier can't really stop you. And At least while you're landing on them. They can counter jump you and then like, land on you as you land, but that's different than, so but yeah, also you can try to think, you can find ways to like try to pressure this roof. Like if your demo is able to pipe like the soldier up here or sticky and like deal some damage on the roof, that's a good time to bomb it and just, make them get off. Then when your soldier's pressuring their combo, they're going to either look at that or they're going to keep looking at your combo. If they keep looking at your combo, this soldier's just going to fucking roll everybody. Right? This is just extremely devastating. So they're going to have to look at you, and that just lets your combo walk across. Right? You want to put the demo in a situation where they have to look at one spot, they have to look at two spots at the same time. And that's just not possible. Right? They're not Schrodinger's demo man. So you just want to make sure you're able, like, you're coordinating that in a way that you get to walk behind. Another thing you guys can do, and I don't think this is awful, is you can just send a soldier behind right away. Typically, I think it's better to send the pocket because it ends up in a much more favorable position back here. I know I said the scout would be looking at you, but your other option is doing something like this, where like you land like back here and you might miss that, and then it's just you're in their valley and you're very easily chaseable. Versus like you can bait this scout to come down and then jump behind, or maybe he's just not there, Plus, you get to go pretty high, and you can like fade back here. I just think this bomb is way better. And the idea, if you're trying to go behind, you're trying to create chaos, kind of. They could do the same thing to you. Let's talk about it if they do it to you, and then I'll tell you how you don't fall for the pit traps that most teams fall for. So, like, if they jump behind with a soldier, obviously, if you have a scout sitting up on this height, right? Like this guy's literally his job at this point is to chase the soldier down and just kill him as fast as possible, or at least keep eyes on them. You don't really want to send another player back if you don't have to, but yeah, you do have a choice. Either you send another player back, typically a soldier, to just go and make sure that guy dies, and then like your 4 players on point stave off their 5 as long as possible, right? Or you could be Giga Chads and just say, hey, there's a player behind us. Let's take a 6v5 because that player is not contributing in the fight right now. So, and then when you do that, you want to like bomb both soldiers so they have to look at, everything. Plus your team starts crossing point, right? And at this point, trades are good for you because there's a player behind not contributing, and then they're either going to wipe or drop enough players that they leave, and then the player behind you is just a free pick. So that's the kind of theory that we're dealing with. And the way that you do this successfully, the way that you don't let that happen to your team if you want to try to go behind, is the soldier that jumps out has to recommit extremely quickly. Like you cannot linger behind for like 5-10 seconds. Your team will die. You have to get back in ASAP. And a good way to do that is like you get in, you grab this pack, and you just keep going. Right, you grab this pack and then you just jump in. But you have to your team has to be ready. Like if you're playing for the soldier to recommit quickly, you have to play in a way that once the soldier commits, you can actually walk. Otherwise, it's just your soldier's feeding or you're baiting, either way. So do your best, like when the soldier's behind, to just kind of like don't aggress off of the soldier going behind. Aggress off of your soldier coming back in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. If they decide to walk into you, hold your ground. Scouts, just keep an eye out for soldiers, try to deny them. Demo, keep an eye, do your best to keep point as clear as possible. You guys might even consider backing up a little bit. And yeah, there's a soldier behind you, but if you guys all back up and just kill that guy, then you can like refight from, Valley or main or whatever. And just, even though they might win the initial mid fight, they won't be able to keep it because they're just a player down if you play it right. So, you don't have to like be the first to cap to win the mid. Well, I guess like by definition they won mid, but you know what I mean? Like you're going to have it for way longer if you just re-aggress with 6 players and they have to leave. So, yeah. Those are the general little tidbits about mid. A very important thing about this roof, like you want to keep it clear, but you don't want to die standing up here. Like as a soldier, if I'm getting rolled up here, I'll drop down here and ask for an arrow, or like your pocket scout should be doing a good job making sure people are off this roof as well. Right, and your roamer can also really help out. Like the nice thing about this map is it's not like Bagel or Product, where there's like a true flank that you have to always keep tabs on. It's pretty open, right? Like the worst thing that can happen, like the flank on this map is soldiers bombing behind. There's nothing your roamer can do to stop that. So your roamer doesn't have to play like in a specific spot to like deny them, right? He can just like play as like a bit of a flex role, right? Where he can help your combo, your pocket soldier. Maybe he fights this roof, but you don't have to, right? So just remember that your roamer isn't glued to a spot like they are on the other two Goth maps. All right, let's talk about winning, because you guys won mid. You're winners. All right. So if it's ad and you guys need to like prepare for a 4-man, the worst thing you can do, and Malarkey's going to hate this, but the worst thing you can do is immediately bunker. This is very easily counterable. And Malarkey's right. You won't die in bunker. That's true. If they jump into your bunker and feed into you, yeah, they're going to get obliterated. Smart teams aren't going to do that. They're going to see you're in bunker, and they're going to have a demo trap, put traps in front of you. They're going to have soldiers like either bombing onto like this concrete and just spamming you for 40, 60 damage rockets that you can't do anything about, or just have us like a soldier play like up here and another one up here. They're just going to trap you inside of your bunker and then have their scout bait point. And you have to use into this. There's no way for you to get out of this bunker without using at that point. So the way that you do bunker properly, if you're playing against a 4-man, is you play outside of it first and make them sack into you right away. Then you bunker. Because if you just that way you can get a couple of kills and then hopefully you can get out, right? Because that's the problem with bunker, is just getting out if no one dies. Okay. The other thing you can do is you can just bait me. It's really, really, really fucking hard for them to like surprise you in main if you know what to look for, right? Like a soldier bombing off of this tower, like bombing behind this way, it's probably going to come from up here or back here. There's not, there's no surprises. And you have the advantage of this where, like, if you have to back out, you can choose what door to come in, right? You can, like, re-emerge from here. You can go upper kill box, lower, you just have so many more options when you hide in this house versus, like, bunker. Another thing you can try doing is hiding in their bunker. It can throw a lot of teams off if, like, they say, if like you play near point and they start sacking in, then you just hide in their bunker. Like a lot of teams just aren't going to be ready for that because like their soldiers already bombing onto this roof or something like that, So those are some options for you. Cool. Let's talk about if it's even, what you kind of want to be doing, or like if it's not like a 4-man situation. I like having a soldier on this roof. It's just very, you spot a lot up here. And then I like having a soldier either on the blue roof or on the this concrete, something like this. It's very strong. Your soldiers are spotting, and then typically you have a scout playing with your soldier on their roof, just to stop them from bombing onto it freely. Your demo is going to be putting up traps on this map, and this is kind of a map where you don't. I mean, there are good like traps. This rock beneath the stairs, the saw. Above kill box, the stairs, on this, above all this. Like, there's just so many fucking good traps on this map. Yeah. But you also have to remember that there's a lot of traps that are very well known that are just annoying as hell to clear. Case in point, this box. This box is awful. Like this, people like this is maybe something that I would let you complain about on this map. It's just very stupid. Like you can't, like a scout cannot clear them without dying to them.
Yeah.
So you have to like either walk super wide and maybe like nick a couple, and then you can like walk wide and clear them, or just have a soldier shoot the side so the traps dislodge, and that's a lot easier.
Question:
But
Where do you put the stickies on?
Where do you put them on the
What do you mean?
box?
Yeah, like on the side.
Okay.
Yep, just all around there. It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
And then try to whatever. It's all good. So cool. And then you're gonna have typically your demos like helping to watch Valley. You're just because it's an open choke. It's impossible for a soldier to hold that alone. But other than that, I mean, I don't know. I think it's pretty straightforward how you hold on this point. Your scout, like one scout's up here, you have another one like playing on the box itself. It's pretty reasonable. And then you just spot, and then wherever their team, like wherever their beam's going, your demo shifts their focus there. Like whatever door they're coming through, your demo is going to be looking at it and just making it impossible for them to walk through. Really big mistake I see some teams make is like their demo will exclusively focus on these two doors. And even though, yes, it's really hard for your soldier to stuff shit like this, if it's just their flank, it doesn't really matter. You need to stuff their beam. That's the important one. Okay? And, whatever door they're walking through, your soldiers should help spam, and your scout can keep a lookout. Like, if your scout's up on this roof, the soldier on this roof can kind of, like, drop down and help focus over here or on main. And this scout can just, be on the lookout for soldiers, but you can just spot this valley. Right? Cool. Let's say they Uber into you on a map like on this map, because your demo is so important. Like, on some maps you might not Uber to save your demo, or there might be some situations where it's like, I can probably let my demo die and just have a better Uber. This map is your demo is very important. Your demo has to play their life a lot, so you don't have to get flashed. But if your demo's life's in danger, you must flash them on this map, or else you will not be able to recontest point. So yeah, make sure you're living demo. You're playing safe. You're not gonna get caught by their Uber, and then yeah, that's all there is really to it. Because there's nothing you can really do to stop them getting through here if they just like walk quickly. They can even like walk into a house and try to like flank you or get around you. A lot of teams will also come kill box because it's just pretty underdefended. I think like a lot of times that there just aren't traps here, and teams just know that. They look and then they just walk super duper wide and they're just wrapping. They get to this trench and then they exchange. It's really good for them because they didn't have to Uber until they got to like here. So we want to try to prevent that. But I think I already pretty much talked about that, with being able to trying to stuff doors as best you can. Also, we can like vaguely talk about a forward hold on this map. Forward holding on this map is pretty... it's okay. I think it's definitely the worst forward hold. Like, yeah, it's not even close. Like, this forward hold isn't nearly as sustainable as Product or Bagel, but it's still all right, because the entire goal is just to slow them down. You just don't do it for nearly as long. Your Pocket Soldier plays up here. Your combo plays around here, right? And your demo can... Or more specifically, your Scout and Medic are playing around here. And then you have a soldier watching this, and then you have your demo watching this. That's what I've heard. Your demo watches this just because it's like a tiny ass door, and your demo can like still turn around and pipe people, but this door, your soldier can also watch this, but it's pretty easy to shove people out from holding this spot, right? So I don't know. You can mess around with it, whatever, or you don't even have to forward hold. It's not necessary.
I haven't really seen anyone forward hold on this map yet.
Yeah, it's not as common, and it's because it's a lot less strict. As soon as they are busting out, you have to leave. You have no choice, right? And you have to do it in such a way that you're not going to get caught. That's the hard part, because like the reason teams don't forward hold typically is because if you try to do it, you can get caught, and then you lose your demo, and it's just GG. You lose the point now. Most of the time. Cool. All right, let's talk about losing the mid. Right. So if your medic dies, obviously you go sell out for their medic. But let's say that your medic lives. Actually, no, let's talk about 4-mans first. That's just easier. So for 4-mans on Bagel, I think sniping on a 4-man's pretty good. On this map, I think it's less good. The sniper sightlines on this map are decent, but they're not like it's not like, I don't know, like sniping from here, if it's like your first shot, is fine, but as soon as they realize you're on sniper, they're just gonna back up, and then your sniper can't really do a whole lot. I mean, you can try to peek across here, but if they just play like behind that shed, you're not going to see anything. You're going to be kind of pointless. Plus, I think this map's just way better for scout. Like getting in on bagel and scout sucks. the doors are so choky, but getting on this map is pretty free, right? So scout is just much better on this map in terms of like formats. Your soldiers also have really good bombs. It's like you have a huge skybox, so your soldiers and demos will not have an issue getting in. The biggest thing that you need to think about with formats is how far can you walk your beam without them dying? Because obviously, the further you can walk with your medic, the further you can bring heals up, the better. Right? Then your players are going to be more healthy, or they're going to be able to foreman closer. You get more information. It just tends to make things a lot better. I'm assuming everyone here is familiar with line theory.
I'm not.
It's basically okay. I'll talk. I was going to talk about it anyway. So line theory, in terms of like competitive Team Fortress 2, is like there is an imaginary line at all points in time, like through every choke or like every pathway, that once you cross that line, you are dead. Like if a team plays perfectly, you will not survive. And that line, you don't want to cross that line. So like in this open choke, I would say the line is like somewhere around like as this hill starts moving up. Like here you're caught, here you're not. Right? So you'll just learn that by playing, and it also depends on what class you're playing, right? Like a heavy's line is going to be further back than say a scout or a soldier who can just jump away pretty freely. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Kind of. So you want to walk your medic up to theoretically you want to walk them up as far as you can without them getting caught. It's basically what I'm getting at. And for some teams, it also depends on their information. If they don't know you're there, you're pretty safe. Right? So, but yeah, I would say like somewhere around here, if you want to walk your team up to here to 4-man, that's fine. Walking into house is pretty safe, honestly. Like I said, it's pretty hard to like surprise people with this. Like if they Uber and try to like wrap behind you with that, like they Uber a soldier or a demo and they like jump behind you, remember, they're not going to be Ubered when they land. And the meta can't reflash them. So it's not that big of a threat, honestly. The biggest that they could do is if they're in trench and then they walk kill box, but then you can just like run this way. And it's not that big of a deal, right? So, but you get the point. You just want to walk your team up as close as you can, 4-man, have a good time. And then yeah, with your 4-mans, that's definitely the thing that I struggled with the most on this map is just, getting the information. So having a scout or soldier play up here just to figure out what they're doing, it helps so much. And then like you can just drop down when you want to commit, right? It's just this like little lip is so powerful. It just lets you get in and get so much info, and then you can just decide where you want to go, right? You can just drop back into your team or walk forward. It's great. I suck. But cool. So yeah, you 4-man, if they hide in their bunker and you guys haven't lost anybody yet, do the thing that I told you. Have your scout like bait right here, your demo traps them inside, and then your soldiers can like land over here and just start shooting them. Like, what are they going to do to your soldiers over here? Nothing. Absolutely fucking nothing. So, yeah, I think this is very good. Very, very, very good. If they're baiting really hard, you can do the same thing and like go them into like coming back to point. Just play around the point. Make them, play the objective, force them to use into you to like stop you from capping the point. And if their medic is at any point catchable, that's when you can like flip the switch and just say, okay, go for medic now. Right? You don't need to like start going for medic immediately. You can like bait point a little bit, force them to get in a worse position, then go for medic. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool beans. All right, let's talk about exchanges. That's something you're gonna have to do. If it's even Ubers, they didn't, or if they didn't use in the 4-man or whatever, and you need to get in. How do you get in? Typically, like I said, what my team has done is they've gone through here. It's pretty free usually. to get through here, and then you just walk super wide. Pretty strong. I've seen some teams try to just like, do similar things, but dropping out of kill box. Right? It'd be very beneficial if you had a player get up here right away just to check, make sure there's no traps, at least through either of these doors or whatever. Because then your team can just walk through, like, this door. It's also pretty good. So, but the idea is you want to try to go as far as possible without using. You typically want to solo scout, maybe double scout, and then try to make them flash as many people as possible, normal exchange stuff. I guess I should go into depth here. The idea is you just like, you come in, you Uber as late as possible. You absolutely do not want to drop your player. So if you end up using early, that's fine. But you want to try to toe the line, get as close as possible. And then you want to try to either drop like 2 or 3 people or make them use. And then once they do use, shoot people that aren't Ubered to force them to either flash or drop those players. Once you're at like 30%, your medic should call that, and then then you want to back up and let them waste the rest of their Uber. If they try to chase you, just kite as best you can. And then after that, it's just another mid fight, except whoever you're down or whoever's hurt is hurt and down. So I think that's the general points of this map taken care of. I don't think I missed anything. You guys have any questions about that?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Can you explain again, just briefly, on mid how to play as Pocket Soldier again?
Yeah. Basically, this roof is your baby. Don't die up here, though. You're going to be targeted quite a lot. So the very powerful spam down here, but you have to be careful of players jumping up on your roof, either like a scout jumping around here or a soldier bombing you. Your pocket scout will try to help you. You call that you need help on roof, your pocket scout can try to jump up here and help you. You can, just play very defensively up here. You shoot this, but if a scout starts jumping up to you, shoot the wall, slash, shit like that, get them down. And then if you're just getting rolled up on this roof, you can kind of play it like Bagel, where you just bait really hard and counter jump the roof, or like play down here and counter jump it or whatever. You can also try going behind. Off of this wall, then off of this wall, end up behind them. Try to recommit as fast as possible when you do that. And where you're recommitting from, so your team knows where to pressure. Any other questions?
Flank scout on mid.
Flank scout? Yeah. So flank scout, I like playing up here right away. You like roll out through here, and then I would go up these stairs and then just jump up here right away. Except better. And then this punishes early soldier aggression. If they don't bomb high enough, you just own this soldier. If they double bomb and try to land on your medic, you can help deny that soldier. And then if nothing's happening, like, if you're up there for like 2 or 3 seconds and they're not doing anything like that, you can drop down and help your demo fight point. Try to sync up with your demo. If they pipe something, follow it up. Pocket scout too, but your pocket scouts got to be ready to help fight up here as well. And it really does have to be pocket scout, because they're going to have the buff, most likely. I mean, both scouts should be buffed, but your pocket scout should be generally healthier. Whatever scout is available to help this roof should help if they need it. You can also work with your roamer and roamer and demo. Have your demo shoot a couple stickies up here, then you and your roamer can try to take their roof. Try to get a kill. I would say once you get a kill, your job is done. As a flank scout, you can drop down, let your roamer stay up there. That way you both don't eat shit. Only one player does.
Okay.
Could you go over some bombs on this mid?
Yeah. I mean, these towers are your best friends. Like, there's nothing you can't reach with these towers. Like, it's just fucking nuts. You can go anywhere. So anywhere off that tower is really good. Oh, that was bad. Off this wall, going behind. You can like go all the way. Use this. You can use this to go behind. Like, if you're on, like, if you're playing like roamer or some shit, you can like play down here and just like use this to go behind. Right, just like hide down here and then suddenly just behind them. But in general, these towers are just your best friends. You can just fucking go.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Thank you.
Where do
Oh,
you
I should.
suggest for like obviously like soldier bombs, like where do you suggest the medic's like best position to be?
Near your scout. That's all I can tell you. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. If your scouts just aren't looking at soldiers, there's not a whole lot you can do. I mean, any space is just as good as another, I would say, as long as you're not getting spammed by the demo.
One thing
So,
I'll say from
if
the
your
soldier-
demo's taking. You're good. If the demo's like fighting left side of point, you want to kind of like play opposite, vice versa, just so you're not eating random spam, ideally. But all of this space, wherever the soldier bombs from, you can surf pretty much anywhere. So it's not like you're at a disadvantage standing in one particular spot surf wise. You can end up in a bunch of spots on this map.
Yeah,
I would say the most important thing is just make sure you play near your scouts, because if you don't, there's nothing they can do to help you when the soldiers inevitably bomb.
That's what I was gonna say from the soldier perspective, is that you have so much room to surf on this map. So that's like super important, I think. If you're getting bombed.
Yeah, it's definitely not like Product or Bagel, where sometimes you can just like, I guess Bagel's like mostly fine, but Product is like, there's a lot of good surfs, and then there's just like you just like hit a roof and it's just kind of over because it's so small compared to this map. Yeah, I didn't really talk about medic positioning on this map. I think it's pretty straightforward. You just play with your team. There's not a whole lot to it other than just kind of use your team as meat shields, because, I mean, your ground is mostly going to be on this concrete and on dirt. There's not a whole lot of positioning to be had here.
I see med playing in shed a lot as well.
And no, I don't like playing in here by default. No, it's just you can get super isolated from your team and be forced to leave backdoor and like not healing your team for 2 seconds. I think it's much better to be playing like out here.
Okay.
Yeah. Do be careful about like Loch-n-Load on this map, by the way. Like, this fucker reaches like so far.
Yeah, fuck this one.
Yeah. I think what is not ESEA. Fucking UGC banned this. Plusses. Anyways. Yeah, just respect the range. if you must. Let me talk about. So I'm going to talk about 3 more things. I'm going to talk about hiding spots. Let's see. Do I have time? Yeah, I got 15 minutes. I'm going to talk about 3 more things. I'm going to talk about hiding spots. Things that you should be looking out for / use. I'm going to talk about off classes, and then we're going to talk about the other version of this map and how it changes everything. All right, cool. So I think one of the best hiding spots is up here. I mean, you can just wall bug on this. You can wall bug on this pretty easily. Like, this is pretty free wall bug. There's also one here, but it's a lot less good because obviously you're pretty visible. You can also just hide on this pallet. Pretty strong. You can wall bug up here as well.
Oh my goodness.
You can hit. That roof does have clipping, like right up here, but you can like go above it, and then it's just not a problem.
Yo, what the fuck?
You can also go up here, but same deal. You can like hide right here. Yeah. You can force yourself. You can strafe into this awning like it's gully wash and just stay up here. Same up here. Oh, you can just stand on this one. Lol. Obviously, these barrels.
Interesting.
You'll see some players hiding here sometimes. Like, no one will clear this, and then they'll just like be in main. You get in valley, and then they're just behind you. Pretty disastrous. I think that's about it. Like, there's not a whole lot of other hiding spots, but yeah, be really careful about these wall bugs. When you're checking for traps, just look a little bit more up. Make sure a soldier isn't just like waving at you. Alright, let's talk about off classes briefly. Pyro, pretty bad on this map. I mean, I mean, as a Koth map, it's pretty light on ammo in general. And then on top of the fact that you just don't do a whole lot. Like the biggest upside Pyro has maybe is just clearing these stickies a lot easier. They can just like detonate it around the corner, but it's just not worth it. Like, yeah, Pyro is just Pyro. Bad. Don't use them. I'll hit you if you do. Heavy is surprisingly useful on this map. Very strong. Because what you can do is you can like, you know, if like let's say one of your soldiers dies on the mid fight and the rest of their teams like dies or is out, then they can just spawn up on heavy, grew their way here because the grew's on ban now, and just prepare for a 4-man by like just revving their Tommy Slav here. And then you know they just like whatever. Or if there's an exchange happening and you just like hide in this hut, they Uber into you. You know, you flash your scout, and then all of a sudden, post Uber, you just have a heavy. Like it can be reasonable. I don't think it's awful, honestly. This is definitely something you wouldn't do full time. I wouldn't even do it halftime or quarter. You know, it's something you do one time, maybe. We bait the scrim. Oh no. Nah, don't be a wuss. Don't do it, Juxie.
Heavy on Koth is legit.
I've had people run heavy against my team before on this map.
Beat
Oh,
it.
we weren't
So
heavy.
awful.
We ran heavy
It
on
was
Bagel.
so
Yeah,
awful.
yeah.
It's
Just beat
legit,
it.
dude.
Just
The way-
beat
the
the
way-
heavy
the
that
way-
840% beam, bro.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fucking disgusting.
If they're running, if their team's running full time heavy, you can probably just run sniper. Honestly, just counter the fat ass with insta kill class.
It's a good point.
Especially on this map.
Yeah, it's like pretty reasonable because if the heavy isn't peaking sniper silence, they're not doing a whole lot for their team.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can counter that with that. That's the reason the heavy is not very good in sixes. It's just like then you just run full time sniper to beat the heavy, and then it's just an SVS. But that's we're kind of getting into Euro territory now, so I'm gonna stop.
Ew.
It was crazy.
Engineer is, I don't think it's awful. Honestly, I think this probably is best Koth map. Oh no, product's probably better, but there's still a lot you can do on Engie. In particular, putting a gun like somewhere around here is really fucked up. Like the idea is like the gun barely reaches over this height. It's like impossible to spam from this side. Like as a soldier, you can't. You have to like hit the wall or some shit. It's not
actually
possible
kind
to
of
spam from
difficult
up
to
here.
get to. As
Yeah,
demo
it's very hard to spam, and then the idea is you just, you know, like if you can get this gun to level 2 on point, it's gonna waste a lot of time, and then obviously you don't want to be on Frontier Justice, you probably just want to be on Shotgun.
Pwn does.
But like, you know, you just Shotgun, and you're not losing a whole lot, honestly, as like an engineer. Yeah, you're losing like medic speed, but like that's only one of your 2 hit scan classes, right? The other one's still on scout if you need it. So I don't know. I think it's reasonable but it requires a very specific timing where like you're gonna have time to get a gun up. Like, you know, it's like a 4-man situation. You know they're bad at 4-mans, and then you just like bring a gun.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty hard to do, I would say. But I don't think it's awful.
And on the next version, you can build on the roof.
Yes, you can. I don't think it really improves Engie that much though, because like the roof already gets fucked by demo. Sniper's like okay on this map. It's definitely better than Bagel, but it's worse than product. Like I said, this is like a very good first shot. Like if you like fully charge and then like peek, it can be very strong if they're not ready for you. And then typically what you'll see snipers do after is they'll start playing in here. You know, this is like reasonable. Obviously, it covers point. But you're also very susceptible to soldiers because all a soldier has to do is bomb off this, bomb off that, and just land behind you and then kill you. So you're you're not safe here. You're not as safe as you think you are because of this door. Another spot where sniper is just absolutely fucked though is if you have them while they're on their point, because then you can stand up here.
Oh.
And you can watch this and this.
Oh,
and this is pretty nasty, actually. But this is I also think this is a bit of a win more strategy. Like you don't need to do this, but you know. But yeah, I don't think it's awful. And then my opinion on Spy remains unchanged. If you can do it at a time that they won't expect it, and you don't bump into players, it's probably okay. Like on a 4-man. But if you're really bad at spy movement, just don't do it, because then you're just like useless. You would have
It's
been
like the
better off as
problem. Yeah, like the problem with Koth is it's about time, and Spy takes a shit ton of time to do anything.
yeah. If you're gonna run spy, it had better be on Latron J and Invis Watch, so you can get in position and get ready to decloak ASAP.
Yeah, that's
cool.
You definitely have to run that.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Now let's briefly talk about hopefully the other map's up. If it's not, then we might have an issue. But there is another version of this map that came out like I want to say like a week ago.
Oh.
I think it's not here. It's pretty new. It's relatively new, and it's only changed. Like there's 3. Yeah, it's not in. I'm going to stream the map. Hopefully it's not going to kill my PC. But here, let me know if you guys can see the stream. Can everyone see the stream?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So there's 3 big changes, and one of them, like I said, that you can build on the roof now as engineer. Not really super impactful in 6s, in my opinion, just because demo already fucks it. But the other 2 totally change the dynamic of this map, in my opinion, and that is this is higher, and now you can use this to get to roof. Anyone can get up on the roof now. And on the other side too. This changes everything. Yes, because you can have a heavy on the roof. This is enormous. It's a tiny change that completely alters how this map will play, because now you can have a heavy get up here. Plus it just allows soldiers to get up here without rocket jumping. There's just so much that this does silently that it's a big change. It's a huge change. I guess there's a 4th one. Yeah, this doesn't have a glass anymore either. So, yeah, this version is going to play it's very similar looking, but it will play very differently because of these.
So, how should you change how you play if you're on this version?
You just have to be more. You have to be more careful about roof. Players can get up here a lot healthier, a lot more freely. I think literally even a heavy can make the concrete jump without. Yeah, literally anybody can get onto this roof. Right, so you have to be careful about this. I also think this would be much more suited for full-time heavy. Oh, and you can get back here now? What the fuck?
Oh.
Whoa indeed. Can you stand up there?
Good teleporter.
No, don't tell me. Don't tell me. Good. Okay. Thank God. That would be abysmal to play against. But yeah, you can get up here, I guess.
I'm in the bush. There's no bushes there.
Perfect for spy.
Yeah.
That's not not symmetrical.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
What do you mean?
No, it is.
There's
you
a
don't
bush
have
over
to
there.
vote this version in if you guys.
It doesn't matter.
There's trash bags.
Yeah,
we're not gonna play this version.
No, yeah. I was just showing them the difference on this version, because if just in case.
It makes the map play faster.
Has RGL ever changed
you have to be more,
versions mid-season or anything?
Not to my knowledge. M17 would know more.
I can't think of a time. The only time I would really think of, well, I think we did maybe once or twice for refresh stuff, but it's only for very small changes. I think occasionally, or
typically it's
it's
cosmetic stuff, or it's like an emergency fix where something's very bad with the map. Yeah,
I see. Okay.
But yeah, this version can get voted in. I would, if you don't want to play it, then don't. I would say the biggest difference is just look out for heavies more. A lot of people are talking about using this to just have a heavy on the roof full time. You can use a heavy to fight the roof, and then also just play soldiers don't have to jump up here anymore, rocket jump to get on these roofs. Now they can just get buffed and just jump up here. So they're gonna be healthier. Roof fights are gonna be a lot more of a thing.
Soldiers are gonna be healthier. I think we should.
But after that, well, after that though, I mean, once once mids are over, I mean, I would imagine it plays very similarly. You do have to be careful about this window, though. Soldiers being able to spam in here is not.
Dude, I like
Not
this
nothing.
version.
Bunker
I
anymore.
like this version.
Yeah, until the 450 heavy comes around the corner, and then you don't like this version.
You have to trust my
That would
spam.
have been regardless.
So
I don't know. I feel like if you just shoot some stickies over there, he just
I'm gonna stick on B15D, like the
That's
old
what I'm
version,
saying. Yeah.
personally.
We'll
but
talk.
you know,
We'll
to each
talk.
their own. To each their own. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah. So on demo, I feel like I get overwhelmed easily on this map. Like I feel like they push like both our roof, their roof, and the point at the same time, and I feel like I can't do anything about it.
That's where you have to trust your team to do their jobs, right? Like this roof, if like your players are alive, that's not necessarily your job. If like your players are able to deal with it, obviously, if your players are rolled, maybe the answer is just back up. If you can't stop everything, you can just back it. But like if your team's here fighting this, trust them to deal with that. That's one thing you don't have to worry about now. Their roof, if they're pushing into you, not a big deal. Like this is like I said, if you have free time, you worry about this roof. Mostly, you want to just worry about stopping the point because this is the thing that is a lot easier for you to stuff than it is for soldiers. Freely, that is. Remember, like Pocket Soldier has pretty good spam on this roof, but it's not sustainable because the demo can just shoot you. So, a lot of the stressors from demo just come down to making sure that your team is doing their job. And if you're getting overwhelmed, you can bring that up, like and like in pauses or whatever. Just like, yo, I need my team to like focus on XYZ, so I don't have to do 5 things all at once.
Yeah.
And then also just remember about a bunch of the kooky traps you can do, right? These boxes are fucking a nightmare, like I said before.
Did they change anything for this version to make the box less obnoxious?
I don't think so.
No, I don't believe so.
I see.
Any other questions?
Wow, that was really useful.
Yeah. That's very in-depth
Yar.
review. Very comprehensive.
I'm still doubtful it's better than product, but maybe we'll see.
Wow, product lover. Horse react this man right now.
How dare you?
Alrighty.
Yeah, thank you.
Well,
Thank you so much.
That is about perfect. Yeah. Any other questions before I go?
How do you like being the NC or moderate? Which one you are?
I didn't know really what I was doing at first, and I kind of, I wish I had a little bit more time, but I do think it's, I don't know, I like it. I like knowing that I'm helping NC.